Okay, greetings folks. I'm just going to play it again. I just started with the Astrodoodle, so give me some time, please. For now, get us started at least. I just watched the most disturbing episode ending of The Chosen. Ew. I'm sorry about that. I don't know what The Chosen is. I've heard of it. Some sort of big deal episodic thing. I'm not quite sure what. The Chosen, it sounds like something religious or something like a dark story about people who don't make it and people who do make it. Okay. Alright, so there's the little Astrodoodle for today. I'm going to come and check out with you guys over here. Greetings. I'm in my imaginary world right now. As you can see, it's very beautiful. I'm surrounded by nature and green and plants and animals and water. I've got multiple beverages because the reality is it's actually bone dry over here. And the humidity is about, what, 6%? Maybe 8%? It might have shot up, because it's got a few clouds today. So I'm compensated with extra fluids. You have to drink a lot of fluids. I like water. I drink a lot of water, but sometimes it just gets like, what about something else? I am not planning to have my magic medicine tonight, which is my little Coca-Cola. Instead, I've got some iced tea and fresh water. And this is homemade iced coffee, and I just finished. So, set that aside. So, I don't know about you, but I'm feeling very, very different to how things were a few weeks ago. And of course, I'm blaming it on the planets. In a nutshell, everything has shifted very rapidly from a heavy dominance of earth signs and water type energy, which is more gentle, more slow moving, especially when you have that Capricorn, Taurus stuff. Like, for example, when we had those cycles where we had Pluto in Capricorn and all the planets in Taurus and maybe the moon was in Virgo, that's a lot of earth. That's very, very comfortable for me. It's slow, it's stabilizing, because I'm very deficient in that element astrologically. And instead, we're shifting to this super high frequency stuff with all these air signs and fire signs. We got all this big. We just had 5 planets in Gemini. Okay, that's moved on. We're just now down to a mere 4 planets. And the moon was there, of course, as you know, a couple of days ago we had the Gemini new moon. But now the moon has moved into Leo. Very, very spicy. And it just happens that the Leo moon is in a very tight opposition with Pluto in Aquarius. That's a sizzly type of energy right there. Oh, excuse me. And then, of course, we have the Aries energy. It's a little unstable right now because Mars is right on the cusp of leaving Aries and moving into Taurus. So I'm actually kind of happy about that. It's going to give me some relief because I kind of enjoy the earth energies. I enjoy being surrounded by Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo type energies. And that includes it happens in people. If there are people, I mean, of course you don't sit there all day, every day, going up to somebody with a little, scanner on your phone or a watch or something, trying to detect their astrology. Are you earth signs or fire or water or air? You don't do that. It's a little bit rude. But, in my personal life, I have some vague astrology memories of, and, information about people I know. And a lot of the sense of comfort and meaning, it correlates to the planets, but a lot of it to the type, whether it's earth, air, fire, or water. So anyway, what I'm noticing was, that Gemini energy, it's very jittery. It's just like having coffee without having coffee, having too much coffee without having coffee at all. And then you add the fire, that kind of lights it up. And I find it hard to relax. My brain kind of goes in overdrive, and it's hard to calm down. And I feel like, I don't know if they still do it. Here's something. Have you ever heard of the word defragmentation? It's something that I used to do a lot on my computers and so on. I haven't done it in quite a while because most of my computers and software, I've got settings so they do a lot of cleanup while I'm sleeping or on an automated cycle. But in the old days, I had to do a lot of my own defragmenting because what would happen is the computer would get clogged, just like an air filter in a vacuum cleaner or an air purifier. It would get clogged and clogged with things like cookies and links and debris and files and data and just junk. And you have to clear it all out for the computers to work properly and for the chips to work properly. I don't do it so much anymore, but it feels like my body needs to be defragmented, okay? Oh. Hello, folks. Hello, Necessary. Hello, Sarah Nova. How do you submit a donation for a reading? Okay, well, number one, do not do Super Chat, okay? Please don't do that. I mean, it's a very kind gesture, but it never gets to here, okay? So, let me see. So, dear Sarah, I would love to do a reading for you. I'll give you a tip. Here's how you do it. Let me show you. On another device, or maybe another tab or another window on your computer or something like that, go to TarotLumination.com and you'll see the website, and you can find the donate page. Click the donate page. You'll find the donate button. Click the donate button. The donation mechanism will come up. It's a payment processor, just like when you do online shopping with, PayPal or Amazon or something like that. And you swipe a card. And normally they encourage you, oh, do you want to use your PayPal? You don't even have to have a PayPal account or anything. You can scroll down and you can choose to pay with a credit or debit card. And you just, do the routine, enter the data, and then click it, put in your donation, click send, and it will come over here. Kaboom. Just like that. Magic. Okay? Thank you for asking. So, I was going to say that to everybody anyway. So that's how that works. I wonder if I can show you. Oh, you've already done it. Oh, well done. Okay. Hello, Kaylee. Kaylee, I know you've been here before. I don't know much about you, but I know you've been here before. I'm pretty sure you have. Whew, okay. Hello, Love Triber. Yes, I saw that. Housing market. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh God. Yes, I know. Sarah, I agree with you completely. Yep. Yep. Super chats don't normally. See, my channel is completely screwed up, and it's basically impossible to fix it. It's completely foobar. And of course, I have deep anger and bitterness about that, which occasionally it comes up in a rage. Okay? Hello, Victor. I see you. No, it's okay. You're not late. It's okay. Anyway, let me go back. I'm going to hang out with you guys for a bit. Okay? Sarah, I agree with you. I'm an outdoor guy. I've lived most of my life between, in Fahrenheit degrees, most of my life between, 38, 40, and 75, maybe 80. That's it. Most of my life. For 10 years, I lived in Cincinnati, and in the summer, it would get up to 95 or 100 with very high humidity. Over here in Las Vegas, it's very different. There's extreme hyper low humidity. There's no moisture. There's no water. There's no natural water except for, Lake Mead, I guess. It's now natural, but it's a man-made thing. There used to be groundwater, but that disappeared, 50 years ago. Otherwise, it's just a bone-dry desert dust bowl, and the soil is completely, utterly dead. Of course, there are small amounts of desert plants that live here, but nothing like this. So I'm struggling to adapt, and a lot of it is psychological because the heat really messes with your brain. When my body gets above 80 degrees, it's not good. When it gets to 85, not good. 90, it gets freakish. Yesterday, a couple of days ago, it was 124 in the backyard. It was 108 in the shade. Okay? And there were a lot of people were dying from heat stroke and sunstroke. Okay, yeah, yeah, Kaylee, it's really rude. I get really bitter. You've probably heard. Actually, I don't. I've kind of outgrown a lot of my bitterness, and a lot of that was with the help of Gregory Ross. He's basically slapped me around a few times telling me to just grow up, wake up, stop dealing with that BS stuff. Things are the way they are and just move on with your life. And so that's pretty much what I've done. A couple of days ago, I had a bit of a shocker kind of wake-up call because there's an astrologer out there on YouTube, a very successful astrologer, and he was going on about, his beliefs and everything, and he's got a huge number of followers, and most of his money comes from his Patreon site, which is what I used to have years ago. I used to have actually Patreon members, if you can believe that. And I thought I was amazing. I earned my living from my YouTube channel. I went to New Zealand 3 times with my YouTube channel. I thought I was a rock star. I now realize that I was operating on pennies. This other astrologer guy, he had 13,000 Patreon members at $10 a month. Figure that out. Okay, figure that out. 13,000 at $10 a month. And that's just his Patreon, not the YouTube channel. And he was going on about the viruses and the vaccines and things like that, and it upset some of his viewers, and he lost something like that, and he lost 10,000 of his Patreons. So he's now down to a mere 3,000 Patreon members per month, and he has to live off that. If I had 3,000 Patreon members every month paying me $10 a month, I would have the TarotLumination retreat years ago in New Zealand, and I would be paying for your airfare to get there and just hang out with me, just to hang out. I wouldn't be doing it to charge you money. I mean, he's actually living my dream for me. So I'm telling you. And here's another thing in contrast. There's an amazing astrologer that I was connecting with a few days ago because I was trying to get their perspective on all this new moon Gemini stuff and the big shifts that are happening with all the cusps. Pluto in Aquarius going back to Capricorn. We got Mars in Aries going into Taurus. We've got the big fat stellium of Gemini. What were the other things he was going on about? I forgot it. I need defragmenting. I need to be defragmented. So, yeah, do the money. Do the money on that. Figure out it is amazing. So he's a very successful astrologer. He hangs around and chats and does stuff. Like he has nice fancy computers and charts and everything, and it's very glossy and everything like that. Necessary Saturn and Neptune. Yeah. Cult. Yeah. The thing is, so anyway, I kept thinking, well, things are the way they are. Everything's exactly how it should be. Why is that so? How is it so? It's because there can't be any other way. Okay? We're all living our different journeys. There's another astrologer I know personally. I haven't chatted for years. She's very successful. She does it all with her YouTube channel. She's got 1/3 subscribers. She does a lot of what a lot of astrologers do. The monthly this for all 12 signs, and then, the latest things for Jupiter, the latest things for Pluto, and then she does interviews with other astrologers and stuff. It's a full-time operation, and I think it's fantastic. Let's see. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have a look into that, okay? I need something wet. Where's my little beverage? Oh, here it is. So, anyway, so there I was. I'm struggling for gasoline and I'm struggling for food, but I'm very used to it. I've been living way on the margins for basically all my life. I've been exposed to astronomical wealth. I've had opportunities, as you call it, to sign into a world of enormous money. And it was because of my so-called talents, especially with music, art and writing, but specifically music. And wouldn't you know that my Chiron is basically sensitized by these matters. And so it's a very, very painful subject for me. I'm not going to dwell on it too longer in case Gregory is here and he slaps me around again a little bit. But sometimes I do get bitter that I never did get to manifest my little YouTube channel the way I wanted to. But I keep telling myself that, see, I love power. I love money, and I like to be in control. I like all the things that are actually very, very dangerous in the wrong hands with the wrong people. But I love them. I liked to work in factories to get my paychecks in cash, and I would save it up and get what I want. No debt, no credit cards, no loans, nothing. I liked having raw cash. That felt like power and freedom. And I had the biggest, most powerful motorcycles I could get when I was a kid. And I was go as fast as possible. I never really went out to hurt anybody. And I also loved controlling things. I discovered many years later that my brother, some of our friends, thought I was a megalomaniac. Because when I was doing pop music as a young lad, I would control everything. I would control all the notes and everything that each musician would play and how they play it and how they do it and the way it would be performed and the way it would be produced. And it worked very, very well. But I didn't realize that I was alienating people because I was operating like a megalomaniac. I was operating like a classic maniacal narcissist. All these horrible things. So, anyway, my feeling is that it's a lesson. It's a life lesson. How do you learn to be happy anyway? Okay? So anyway, so my feeling is that when I started the channel, I really, really wanted to grow. And I knew all of the tricks. I knew everything that you're supposed to do. I did lots of videos, had lots of engagement. I had paid readings, private readings. I still do private readings on the in private. And we had lucky draws and contests and things like that and prizes. I had my little shop with all my merchandise. I had my Patreon membership place and everything with super luxury little tips and everything like that. And it all kind of imploded. And I have a feeling that I was falling in love with my own power. You know? Like becoming a cult type energy where you start believing your own I'm not going to say well, in other words, you become addicted to the energy of success rather than service, you know, because what I'm doing here is essentially a service, more or less for free, and it's very satisfying to me. But in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, man, I wish I had my own cult with my own cult members, and I was making, $1 million a year. I'd have my huge, TarotLumination retreat. I'd probably have one in, Sedona, Arizona, and then one in New Zealand, and then one, in the tropics somewhere over in Hawaii or something like that. Okay. Let me have a look. I want to see what the chat is. There's a lot of chat here. You pay for recorded and uploaded on YouTube readings from tarot readers, and they use a private link. Right. Okay. Try it. See ya. Pluto's been something else for something. Yeah, it's tricky. Hello, Heather. I see you. Sarah just paid a lady $56 for a reading, but she does this whole thing. Okay. It's me, Sarah Nova. Okay, I'm in my band. You're in a band? Sarah Nova, you're in a band? And you're a megalomaniac in your own band? Yeah. So you know how it feels. It's like being a junkie without having to take any drugs. You have all these people under your control. Play F sharp. Do that with the bass notes. Do that with the drums. No. Do this, do that. Oh gosh. Hello. I guess it's Chicky. You're new here. Ha ha ha. Greetings. So as you figured out, I'm just hanging out, I'm chattering. It's because of all the Gemini energy makes me want to talk. Share communication. You know, one thing we also did on the older TarotLumination was we would do paid live events, and it would be on my Zoom, and we would have 5, 10, 15, 30 people on the live Zoom. And we'd all be, instead of just me here and you hanging out in the chat, it would be all of us live with our faces and cameras and voices on Zoom. We can still do that. Anyway, so let me finish the story about these astrologers. So I was doing lots of homework, trying to figure out, oh God, what the hell is going on? I kind of know already, but I like to get validation and affirmation from people in the astrology world, so I can realize that I'm not insane, okay? I'm not insane. And I found this astrologer, I think his name is Maurice Fernandez, very, very gifted astrologer, teacher, got books out there and everything. Very advanced. He does a lot of mundane historical astrology for the whole world, goes deep into it and everything. It's basically like what we do here, but this is like a cartoon show in comparison to what he does. But the themes are the same. The core essential ingredients are the same. It's just he's got his ways, I got my ways. And I was thinking, this guy must be a multimillionaire. And what I realized is that he's operating on a different frequency. He's got, his channel is half the size of my channel, which I thought that's really weird. This guy is outstandingly gifted. What's the issue? And so I checked in, and what I found was that it was actually, it's one thing to study and learn and gather information, but you got to be honest. YouTube for a lot of people is just entertainment. It's something to do, something to watch. They like their goofy people. Whether you like to watch pets and animals, which I love to do, or you want to see things about cars, or weight loss, or hair and nails and makeup, or travel, or finance, whatever it is. It's a form of edutainment. And this fellow, who I think is outstanding, I would have to say he's, I would say, probably a lot more gifted than the other astrologer I mentioned who makes millions. This guy probably, I don't know, he lives on the margins probably like I do. It's very strange how it all works. What's going on there? Hello, this is Fluffles. Hello, Fluffles. Didn't see you there. Thank you for that. It's okay. Welcome. I'm just going to call you Chicky if you don't mind. You banned Sarah Nova. You've banned F sharp. So F sharp doesn't exist anymore? Oh, wow. That's so cool. Oh. Sorry. Okay. Well, there you go. That's my story. So anyway, Let me go to the charts for a minute. I want to share a few things. Over here. Okay, so I'm just doing some housekeeping in the background here. Please bear with me a second. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. All right. So let's go over here. I'm just clicking away in the background. Hold on, bear with me. I'll be right with you. All right. So, well, you can keep it. It's free. Chicky, this is no charges. Seriously, no charge. It's a freebie. In the old days, whenever we had a newbie that would show up at the channel, I would do this hazing stuff. Some of you might remember the old days of hazing, where we would take a newbie and we would sort of play with them. And because most of the... Okay, Chicky, here's an example. A lot of the people over the years who've come to this channel are often like healers in some way or other, or they've suffered massive tragedies in some way or another. And that's kind of a core theme, one of the core themes that brings people into the esoteric worlds of things like astrology and alternate healing anyway. So that's kind of normal here. But you don't have to be so deadly serious about it the whole time. And I like to have fun. I love to be happy. So we would do these events and fun things and live mini readings and freebies and giveaways and everything like that. And we would, oh God. Oh God. Excuse me, hold on. Ugh. Ugh. And we would do a hazing. And a lot of times people would show up because they want a personal reading because there's something weird going on in their life and they're scared. They can't talk to their doctors, their psychiatrists, their parents, their friends, their siblings. So they end up coming here and they talk to a tarot reader. Oh God, excuse me. Oh. So it gets very weird. As you know, I've done thousands of readings over the years. And with all sorts of people, young people, teenagers, gay, lesbian, in-betweens, old people, young people, very damaged people, happy people, very wealthy, successful people, people very much on the margins. You mix it all up, okay? Hello, Robin, I see you. So, anyway, the whole hazing thing was to just drop you in the deep end and see how you behave. And we would just, you know, set up and prepare everything for a bunch of live mini readings. And then we would spontaneously just do you first. And then, of course, the newbie is like, oh, well, wait a minute. I was just coming to hang out. Oh, no, you're here now. You're going to get hazed. Anyway. I haven't done that in a long time because some people consider it cruel and unusual punishment. So, anyway, thank you for visiting anyway. So, do you remember a few days ago we were here? Let me see if I can find the older chart. Okay, here we are from a few days ago, the 6th, all right? That was Sunday night. And then on the 2nd of June, we had this. Okay. And that was a little bit stressful, but for the last few shows, we've had this. Okay, there's some, you know, flashing orange lights over here and over here. We had a big fat green here, so it's comfortable and sweet and everything. And I noticed it as some relief. I kept thinking, wow, even though there are lots of stressors going on, simply because the angles aren't too extreme, I'm not feeling it in my body. And then I pointed out, oh, we've got this big surge in energy, all the Gemini vibes really expanding, and that's there on the 6th. And the 6th was actually the new moon over here. So we had Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Moon, and Venus all piled up in Gemini over there, and that's when I really started to get jittery. Jittery. And it was harmonious with the Aquarius over here and the Aries over here. So that was a lot of air and fire energy. I'm still that way now, but I'm starting to get used to it, and it's softened up a little bit. But here we are today. Notice the difference. Okay, this is the 6th. Okay, here's the new moon stellium in Gemini. Huge pile of Gemini energy. And remember, we talked about this little red line here, stressors. Think of all these planets here. Think of them like floodlights with different colored lenses and degrees of exposure, like sort of like microscopes and floodlights. And and it was all pointing on the Pisces energy over here, and the core theme was exposing all the fraud, deception, lies, betrayal, corruption, perversion, and criminality going on around the world, especially in Washington, D.C., and with the global banking system, the U.S. Federal Reserve, and so on, and the big pharmaceuticals, and so on. And I remember telling people, watch out, because this is going to amplify. Okay, the lights are shining on here right now. It's going to expose it. But when the angles become more acute, more hard squares and more oppositions, this is really going to light up. And so guess what we have today? Kaboom! Okay, there's some very, very sweet, beautiful green energy here of trines and sextiles, okay? Here, 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 here. Trine, sextile, sextile, sextile. So that's very, very gentle, sweet, comforting energy with the Leo, Gemini, effectively Aries and Aquarius energies. But in the background, we got this beast. We got this beast, and it's live right now. The moon's going to move on quickly enough, so this will fade. But at this very moment tonight, live right now, we have this beast of a T-square at the same time as this beast over here. And I don't know if you've noticed, or if you watch what I watch or study what I study, but what I'm seeing is that there's a massive, massive exposure. It's like an outing. The evil is really being outed, and the karmic retribution is starting to be discussed around the world, okay? Hazing sounds fun. Oh, no, no, no. No, 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 Hazy. No, no, no. Oh. Harmonic soul. Oh my God, we have a what's going on tonight? We have a harmonic soul here. That's beautiful. You're a Gemini. Oh my God. Well, that explains everything. Perfect. How perfect. So, hello, harmonic soul. Happy birthday, Chicky. Who said is it your birthday, Chicky? No way. Is it really? What? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, I'll have to check the chat again. Did somebody say it's Chicky's birthday? Hello, Ivona. I see you. Chicky, Pisces here, and no, it's not your birthday. Okay, dear Chicky, well, for some time you've probably been dealing with, for the last almost 14 years, you've been dealing with Neptune and Pisces. It's such a big, long, slow transit, you might not even know it's happening. Of course, there's Saturn right there. Saturn right kind of in the middle, 19 degrees Pisces. So you might have been feeling a little bit tested, a little bit under pressure, like there's like some karmic heavy hand testing you, holding you back. making sure that you're accountable and responsible and thoughtful and patient and dutiful. All right, so there is some. Okay, I'm just going to say it. We've got cusp energy again, folks. Okay, right here we're on the cusp. Okay, right here we're on the cusp. Right here we're on the cusp. Aquarius to Capricorn, Aries to Taurus, Cancer to Leo, all cusp energy. So what happens with me personally with cusp energy is I get a bit like this, like It's a very similar feeling. Here, I'll try and share it. When I'm dealing with cusp energy personally, it feels like one of the feelings you get when you're on a journey. If you think of your life as a journey and you're constantly steering and navigating through life, morning, afternoon, evening, night, sleep, wake, and you have patterns and, there's regular parts of your journey, and then there's all the things that are unknown that you're going to encounter, but you keep going anyway because you don't want to live paralyzed in fear. So you keep going anyway. And then in the invisible world of astrology, where you are impacted by all these geomagnetic impulses, which are very powerful and very real, when you get the cusp, it's like you're tooling along, and you're on a highway, or you're on a country road or something, and then you can start to see in front of you, oh my God, the road is splitting. It's going to go this way or this way. And you're starting to think, oh, damn, are there any road signs? Is there anything to tell me which way am I going? Or what is it that lies ahead if I go left? What happens if I go right? Oh, this is tricky. And sometimes I just like to stay in the flow because I don't like to, I like to be in motion. And so you continue and you think like, am I supposed to go left? Am I supposed to go right? If I go right, it feels like I'm going to end up doing a U-turn going back to where I just came from. What's the point? If I go to the left, I'm heading into the unknown. I don't know what to do. And you just kind of bumble through it, okay? And so what I tend to do is I tend to abandon to the energy. I trust that I am guided, I trust that I am protected, and that I am geomagnetically influenced in such a way that my hands and brain and my amygdala, my pineal gland, my prefrontal cortex, and all of it, and my second brain down in my gut will tell me exactly which way to go. So that's what I do. Basically, I trust that I'm guided and I am protected. It's a little bit scary to live that way, but that's my choice. So we've got that right now. And on the okay, let's go through the three cusps. Right now we've got the Pluto in Aquarius retrograding into Capricorn. So this is affecting everybody and everything on Earth, especially the people at the very highest levels of power and control and money all across Earth. In other words, the United States federal banking system, all the other central banks for the other 200 countries, all the other nations and their politicians and their leaders, all the other banking, retail banking operations, then all the corporations, the big mega corporations like Archer Daniels, Midland, and Monsanto, Microsoft, Google, and all those, the big mega corporations, all the big corporate stuff, big corporate media, big corporate entertainment, big corporate news, big corporate finance, big corporate military-industrial complex, the medical industrial complex, the homeless industrial complex, the welfare industrial complex, the transportation industrial complex, the communications industrial complex, the propaganda industrial complex. All of those things are being heavily impacted right now by the cusp energy of Pluto in Aquarius retrograding back into Capricorn. In simple terms, it's dissolving into a very crude, brutal war between tyranny and freedom. The tyranny that is imposed by the elites at the very top that have all the power and the money and control. Those are the list of names and people and entities that I just mentioned. All of those entities, which are owned and operated by a handful of people like BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, Blackstone, and all of those. Those are the people who actually own and control the world. ExxonMobil, BP, Chevron, the big oil, okay? They own and control everything. Literally. But we're swimming in their world. We, the people, the little minions, we swim in their world. There's 8 billion of us and about 100,000 of them. Okay? And so it's a very extreme disparity in terms of power. It's a small number of people with vast power, money, and control, and billions of people with microscopic amounts of power and money and control. And people are becoming aware. We, the people, in other words, the free people, Pluto and Aquarius, the community, are rising up after 250-year journey. We're waking up again and realizing we're screwed. We're getting screwed by the elites. Okay? It's the same thing that happened 250 years ago in America when America broke away from the British monarchy. The British monarchy had all the power, money, and control, and they wanted to take everything in the new colony of America. And the founders and the colonists said, we are going to live a new life where it's all about the people, and we elect people to represent us, and we pay them a little salary to work for us to get done what has to be done in terms of administration, so on and so on. So that really hadn't been formalized on a global scale before, ever, in human history. Of course, it happened in, ancient communities, probably in Native Americans and whatever. But to have it formally enshrined in a constitution with a Declaration of Independence, that was brand new. So here we are at the end of the very, very first Pluto cycle for the United States of America. And everything is coming unraveled. And that's exactly as it should be. The America that we know is dead and dying. And a new America is being rebirthed. But it's a very, very painful, it's a very slow, painful, disruptive process. And it's the same storyline as 250 years ago. We, the people, want freedom. We want free speech. We want the right to protect and defend our free speech. And we want the right to protect our privacy. And so on and so on and so on, as per the Constitution. The problem with America and the Constitution is that we're the only population in the world that has a formal Constitution. That's why we, the people, are enemy number one to the tyrannical globalists. That's how it is. The tyrannical globalists, they want to try and impose a globalized social order. It has different words, New World Order, globalism, One World Order, all sorts of things. But it's basically them against us. I am not part of the New World Order. I'm just a guy on a YouTube channel. And I like my freedom. I like to be able to say whatever I want without going to prison. I might hurt people's feelings, but people might say things about me that hurt my feelings, but so be it. It's freedom of speech. Okay? So when Pluto goes retrograde, as it is right now, and we're in the first degrees of Aquarius, it's outrage. It's like newborn babies screaming, screaming, screaming. I want freedom. I want my freedom. I want to be free. I want to be me. I want to be part of a community where we're all enjoying each other and sharing with each other for each other's benefit. I do not want some maniac trying to control me and extract energy out of me for their benefit at my loss. That's it. And of course, the people at the top, the elites, they know that they've been outed. They know that we the people are pissed off and we're aware and we're angry. So guess what? The elites are doing everything they can to consolidate their power and energy and control like never before. Ever, ever, ever before. And they're working very hard to put it all together. United Nations, World Health Organization, the World Economic Forum, the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, all of those things, all of those groups of people are megalomaniacs, and they operate like an extremely vicious, aggressive, cancerous tumor. And they want to imprison us with CBDC and things like that. So it's a war. It's tyranny versus freedom. And it's happening right now in the global psyche. It's live right now. People who are waking up, people like myself and the others that hang around here, we're aware of what's going on. And we're trying to figure out, well, what do we do? How can you stop a CBDC? How can you stop the Federal Reserve doing what they do? It's very, very tricky. How do you stop a bunch of commies trying to take over our country? It's very, very tricky. Anyway, so there's that cusp. It's happening right now. And soon, I'm talking about months, because it's a very long cusp with Pluto, Pluto's going to go back into Capricorn. And so it's going to create insane outrage with the elites. They're going to realize that they are desperate, and they're going to act out and behave like desperate people. And desperate people do desperate things. We're not there yet. We're going to see it on the global stage over the next year. Okay, so just heads up, all right? And then Pluto's going to go direct again and back into Aquarius. And then we're going to get the revolution. Okay? So prepare now. Now is the time to prepare. We the people are taking over. So that's the Pluto one. The next one is Mars. It's a totally different story. Mars in Aries, as you know, for the last few months, Mars has been in Aries, transiting Chiron and the North Node. And as we predicted, things would become really amplified with violence all over the world. Bloodshed, guns, bullets, murder, slaughter, riots raging. One group of people hating another group of people, slaughtering other people, because that's the only way they can figure out how to solve their problems, is just violence. And there's a healthy expression of Mars and there's an unhealthy expression of Mars. Healthy expression would be things like doing something brave and courageous and bold for yourself in order to serve another. Things like that. Mars would be like the local hero, like a local fireman who saves somebody from imminent death. Okay? Someone who intervenes and stops something horrible happening. Courage. Someone who fights for good. Someone who fights to get food and money and water and shelter for their family. Things like that. And that's on the cusp. Mars loves being in Aries, but it was in a very, very conflicted state. So that's why we saw so much violence. Mars is going to move into Taurus right now for the next few months. It's part of the journey. I can't remember about the retrogrades, but anyway, Mars in Taurus is a very different story. The Mars energy becomes much more muted and calm, and it's more concerned about taking steady approaches, how to get more stuff, more money, more good things in life, rather than trying to solve problems using violence. There's that one. And then we just had the moon. The moon, of course, was in Cancer. The moon was very, very happy in Cancer. People might have felt very sensitive and warm and cozy and comfortable towards themselves and others and their loved ones. Extra cuddly with your pets. Maybe feeling more at home with home and family and things like that. And anything that's wrong would be dealt with accordingly with home and family and your foundations. And then the moon in Leo would, my feeling that with moon in Leo, it would indicate discomfort with too much light, too much brightness. It's like, oh, wait a minute. The fear of too much light, having to be too brave, having to be truly heroic. Okay. Hello, Esther. I was just wondering where you were. Anyway. Oh, wait a minute. Yep. Chicky's gonna get a reading. Ha ha ha. Chicky, you're gonna get a reading. And guess what, Chicky? You're gonna go first. So that's kind of like what it's like being hazed, because if you've never been here before, never done anything like this before, it makes it much more fun for everyone else here who's been here before to watch a newbie and see what happens to the newbie. You know, it's kind of like when you're a little kid and you find a little bug on the street and you kind of go up to it and kind of go, ooh, look at it, look at that bug. I'm not saying you're a bug, okay, Chicky? All I'm suggesting is that it's kind of entertaining. Think of it as edutainment, okay? See, it looks like thank you, Fluffles. Paying it forward. So, Chicky, you're going to get a mini reading. And someone else got a reading. Who else? Someone else just got a reading, too. You're a brave person, Chicky. Yes, you can handle it. Oh, wait a minute. There was someone. Well. I think it was Sarah. Sarah Nova? I think Sarah Nova got a reading as well. Okay. We'll probably leave it at that. It might just be a short, fun, sweet evening. We'll do a couple of readings and everybody can just go home and have fun. Okay? All right. Actually, I want to finish a little bit over here. Give me a second. I got to double check a couple of things. Alright, I'm gonna go, okay, let's go over here because we're gonna prepare soon. I gotta finish the Astrodoodle. Give me a second, but I want to check something. Oh, Robin, you just threw $5 down the toilet. That money will never get here. It will get sucked up 100% by YouTube. I'm sorry. It's because my channel is permanently locked below a certain threshold where it's essentially almost impossible to earn any money through my channel. So, and that includes the super chats. Okay. Well, thank you anyway. Thank you anyway. So, oh, necessary truth. What's a reading too? Okay, all right. I didn't see that earlier. Fluffles. Okie dokie. Oh, Okay, all right. Okay, I see what's going on here. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Let me do the post-it notes while we're working on it, okay? Where's my Sharpie? So, Chicky, you're up first. Okay. You are up. You're going to be the first reading. And then we've got was it Serenova? Yep. I think it was Serenova, wasn't it? Serenova, you got a... was it Serenova? I think it was. Yeah, yeah, it was Serenova. Okay. Okay, let's have a look here. There we are, Serenova, and then Necessary Truth. Okay, here we go. All right. So that's what the show is going to look like. There we are. Okay. I got it, Sarah. So there we go. Let's leave it at that. I won't be able to handle anymore. My nerves will be completely shot. So that's it for the evening. We're going to read for Chicky, then Sarah, then Necessary. All right? Anyway, yeah, my channel is basically demonetized. It's impossible, okay? I can't, and I've tried everything, and, so things are the way they are. I've tried all sorts of things. I've had all sorts of meetings with Google and YouTube and everything, but it doesn't make any difference. So I'm just going to put all this, hold on, give me a second. Let me finish off over here. So, okay, so I was talking about the cusps, and it makes me feel wiggly, left, right, left, right. The moon doesn't really retrograde, so this just moves on. And then there's the Mars, okay? So Mars, as you can see, Mars is right here on the cusp. There's the Aries, and there's the Taurus. So Mars has been here for some time now, for some months, and it was very upset, very, very angry. It crossed the North Node, it crossed Chiron, and it just inflamed everything even more. And just wars escalating and breaking out, more and more violence. I mean, seriously, I got to tell you folks, if you watch the mainstream media, of course, you're going to hear all about the big war over here. It goes on and on and on and on. It's going to be nuclear holocaust, and there's big bad Russia going against the rest of Europe and NATO and America. Nukes, baby. Of course, and then there's the other one over here. This is the, Israeli-Palestine thing going on over here. And that fills up the headlines as well. But these are only two small wars. These are tiny wars in comparison to what is going on over here. Okay? All over this region here, in fact, down into here, it's a bloodbath. It's an absolute bloodbath. Tens of thousands. Blood slaughter. Okay? Africans against Africans. And it was all trying to be controlled by the Chinese and the Russians and the Americans and the French. And it's utter chaos. Utter chaos. Of course, there's tremendous poverty here as well. Starvation, no water, no food. And it's just... But does this ever get headlines? No. You never see headlines about everything that's happening in Burkina Faso or the Sahel or Sudan. No. Okay? Oh. Okay. Oh, yeah. So anyway, what can you do? Yeah, the big headlines are mostly to do with the invasion across over here, and the chaos in Washington, chaos over here, chaos over here. But if you really want to see the scary effects of what's happening on the world at the most tragic level, it's mostly over here. It's just unspeakable tragedy, death, blood, and violence. It's very sad. It's very, very sad. Anyway, just as a couple of pointers here. See, we just talked about this big fat T-square here, okay? It's super hyper stressful. So this cusp, and this cusp are air to earth, fire to earth, water to fire. It's a mix-up. And for me personally, it triggers jitteriness. When I'm outside of these aspects here, my energy calms down. But when I'm dealing with something like this, I'm like a person driving a car where I have to pay very close attention to the road signs, where I'm coming from and where I'm going, and who am I, what are my intentions. So there's that. We just discussed that. Next, I want to discuss this one over here, this big red fat square. As we described earlier, where was the other chart that I had? Where is it? Where's the one that I had that had all the, where did it go? Oh, here it is. You see this one? Just from a few days ago? Everything was lit up in Gemini. And I was describing how this is, think of these as enormous flashlights or beacons of light, and because of the angles of the astrology, they would be shining, focusing over here, especially on Saturn. And it's going to go through a procession of each one in a row focusing on Saturn, but it will become extremely acute when the planets hit 19 degrees, which is, guess what? That's where we are now. So that little red skinny line on the other chart is now a big fat red line of intense scrutiny. Okay, the Gemini energy just simply wants information. The Gemini, all these lights here, Jupiter, Mercury, Sun, Venus, and it was the moon a couple days ago, they basically want to know what the hell is going on with all this Saturn in Pisces. And eventually, in a few days, we're going to find out what the hell is going on with Neptune in Pisces. Gemini is just like a kid who wants to know what the bleep is going on. So we can talk about it, get it out there, you know? And it's very disturbing, very sick, and very, very scary. And it's about time the sickness and the perversion that is tragically aspected here in the unhealthy expressions of Saturn and Neptune in Pisces in the global 12th house, it needs to be discussed. It needs to be outed. It needs to be opened. Okay? It's very, very, very important. Otherwise, we're walking around like with blindfolds. And so we're going to end up, well, some people like it that way. I don't. I like to know what the hell is going on. So I resonate very strongly with this. And as I expected, everything that I suspected was going on is going on. In other words, the very, very worst of things that you can possibly imagine. It's all coming true and it's all being exposed. All the people up here, the elites who like to play with little children, okay? That's not funny. It's very, very nasty. Is there any accountability? No, because the elites protect themselves and each other. Once you join that club, it's like a satanic club. Once you join, you can't get out. Okay, you will be suicided before you can get out. Anyway, I gotta watch my language, otherwise this whole channel will be crushed yet again. But anyway, a lot of the sickness here is being exposed in China, because China has very tragic aspects that are being lit up by this energy right now. And just as we predicted over the last few years, China is coming seriously unglued. The Chinese people, very sadly, have to put up with the CCP, which is essentially a very, very dark, sinister criminal enterprise that is designed to extract energy like a cancer cell from the surrounding cells. And it's happening. So that's just one example. But anyway, so right now, today, right now, we've got these very harsh aspects. But again, it's perfect. Everything is perfect. All right, I'm going to wrap all this stuff up. We could chat forever about this, but we need to get on with the show. We got a bunch of readings to do. Chicky is up first. Let's see how we're going to do this. All right, so oh God, where's all the pens gone? I seem to have lost a load of pens. That doesn't make any sense. All right, forget about it. We'll deal with it after the show. No big deal. Okay, no more readings tonight. Thank you very much. You're very kind. You're all very generous. Love Triber says it again. We the people are the solution. It's absolutely true. Hello, Victor. Okay, thank you, Victor. We're going to do personal stuff now. Victor likes to come here for the astrology. All right, I need a little top up on a beverage, so I'm going to get some iced tea, and we're going to shuffle up and start with Chicky. So bear with me, folks. It's a long one. I'm gonna get us rolling over here. Thank you, Victor. That's a long sunny travel. Chat amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a minute. made it. Wow. All right, glasses on. Now we have to shuffle, so I'm going to play in some more. Okay, here we go. Chicky, brace yourself, okay? All right. Sorry for the abrupt ending there. No, Bubba is quietly relaxing in the moment. Mr. Ross. Yay. All right. It's a mystery. Yes, Esther, it is a mystery. All right, so Chicky, you're up. All right. So, Chicky, what I would do, I mean, this might sound very childish, but what I'd like you to do, Chicky, let's just take it for granted. Okay, hold on, let's do this properly. Chicky, you have invisible friends. You have your own personal invisible friends. They love you very, very much. And they're close by all the time, whether you like it or know it or not. The cool thing is when you get into this whole, I don't know, spirituality stuff, and you open up your chakras, your body, your essence, your spirit, your whole body, mind, heart, and soul to heaven, and you basically pretty much dedicate yourself to being that way, then things start to change, and this, what I call the healing power of love, becomes present in your life. And it's sort of like a current. It's like plugging your fingers into the wall socket or something. It's like energy that comes into you, or like turning on a faucet of water or something like that. And it's quite a phenomenon, and it happens to everybody in different ways. There's a fellow I like called Tucker Carlson. I wouldn't be surprised if he's a Gemini, because he talks all the time. And he is a media giant, and he's very conservative and alternative. His name's Tucker Carlson, and he's always going on about the truth. And the thing is, he speaks truth, his own truth from his own perspective. And it's very frequently validated by other people who also enjoy truth. Truth is a very powerful phenomenon. And one of the things he likes to say is that when you live in truth, when you speak truth, when you allow truth to enter your life, and you are fearless in dealing with the truth, then a form of energy fills you up. And it's like, wow, my God, this is like, it's not like you're supercharged, but it makes you feel as though you've got some kind of magical power above and beyond your three-dimensional functions. You know, you've got your sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch, but there's a whole lot more going on than our three-dimensional existence. And sometimes we tap into the multi-dimensional aspects here. So that's sort of what happens here on this channel. I like to have fun with it, but in your own way. I have my own invisible friends, but what I'm trying to get at is that you've got your own invisible friends, and they love it when you get to the point where you acknowledge them and you become aware that they are there, and it becomes like a relationship, and it's like, oh my God, I see you. And they see you. You see them, they see you. Now, it's not like they're going to just like wander into your room and walk around and you can just touch them, but they are there in essence, in spirit. And they have faces, and sometimes they have names, and sometimes you don't know who they really are. But anyway, they're very close, and they are benevolent, and they're here to help you. And it's some of it is just spontaneous. They're not trying to live your life for you. So the way it works is that, it especially works by conscious invitation. When you deliberately invoke and invite the healing power of love to fill your body, mind, heart, and soul from above, and you just say it repeatedly, like 3 times a day, that's what starts to happen. It's like neuro-linguistic programming. You brainwash yourself into being a recipient of the healing power of love, and eventually you become an instrument of the healing power of love, and so on and so on. You can do the same thing with your invisible friends. Ask them, invite them to participate in your life on a daily basis. Doesn't mean you have to be talking to yourself in the grocery store or anything like that with your invisible friends, and people are looking at you like, who's Chicky talking to? Who is that? Okay, but anyway, I hope you understand. Life is much better and much more fun when you have participants and friends hanging out with you, like your invisible friends. Archangels, angels, guardian angels, unique specialty angels, custom angels, all of that. So please send out a vocal live invitation to your invisible friends to join you right now live. Are you ready? Here we go, Chicky. This is your moment. All right, here we go. Well, where's my iced tea? Hold on. I need my iced tea at hand here. All right, here we go. Excellent. Fantastic. All right, here we go. So, cards are well shuffled in advance, and you've seen me do it live in front of you here right now. I don't do reversals. I don't do jumpers, flyers. I'm not doing any oracles. Chicky, all I'm doing is using my little tiny custom spread. I have 3 spreads that I use. They're all custom made by me, for the clients. And this is my situational spread. And it's basically like a diagnostic tool. If you got a problem with your car, for example, you drive over to O'Reilly's or AutoZone or one of those types of places, and you tell them, help, the orange lights on my dashboard are flashing, help, help, help. And they will run out and they will take the black box and plug it in under your dashboard, under the steering wheel, and they will tell you, oh, Chickie, you got a problem. You've got a problem. Your mass air sensor is kaput. Oh, well, you see, you got to reveal it to heal it. If you don't know what the problem is, you can't fix it. You've got to reveal it to heal it. So that's all we're doing here. That's all this is. Okay, but we just do it with our invisible friends, with tarot cards, that's all. So here we go. So I'm going to do a completely blind reading for you, Chickie, if you don't mind. I think you said you're Pisces or something. I don't remember, maybe so. Anyway, so what kind of messages do we have here tonight for a newbie Chickie? I think you said something about, oh yeah, Saturn. Ugh, ugh. All right, let's see what's going on. Okay, here's the situation. Here's the situation. Here's the challenges, and here's how we're going to handle things, okay? And this is, over here, we're going to look at the external influences. I usually think of that as the planets, but anyway, we'll see. So, it doesn't necessarily mean it's your energy or your situation. It's more to do with what's out there. If you're a fish in a fishbowl, what's the water like? What's the lighting like? What's the terrain like? Let's have a look. So we've got the Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Okay, so with the Wheel of Fortune, it makes me feel that you are at a fated moment of your life right now. So guess what? I'm going to go straight to the Astrodoodles and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. Not only the Astrodoodle, but the ephemeris. So you can see it's not just TarotLumination gibbering. It's actually the same data that's used by NASA, SpaceX, Boeing, and Elon Musk and his satellites and everything, okay? So here we are today, right now. This is the 9th, okay, of June. And as you can see, Neptune is in 29.5 degrees right here, okay? This is a critical degree. This is a degree of desperation for many people. Not always desperation, but if you're not prepared, it can feel like desperation. And it's getting very close to the cusp. In other words, that little thing that I just showed you here looks like this on my Astrodoodle. And so this is another cusp. I didn't talk about it tonight because I just talked about this one and this one and this one tonight. But this is a very, very, very big, very important cusp right here, even for Pisces people. Neptune is on the cusp of Aries over here. So in the next year or two, remember, Neptune moves very, very slowly. It takes about 170 something years, I think. I can't remember. In other words, just take 14 times 12. Whatever that is. Anyway, Neptune is on the cusp. Several big things are going to happen here. Neptune is on the cusp. And over the next year or so, Neptune is going to cross into Aries. It's going to be a monumental shift for all Pisces people and for the whole of humanity. Next, Saturn, much more quickly, is going to conjoin with Neptune. So Neptune's going to move like this. And Saturn's going to go like this. And when they conjoin, they're going to be right here. And that's going to be a monumental date episode in human history. I can guarantee that. We'll do other videos about that. But that effectively translates for you, dear Chickie, as a monumental, life-changing circumstances, whether you like it or know it or not. You might already be getting sensations like, oh my God, holy geez, something big is happening. Well, it's true. What exactly that looks like yet, we cannot say it because we're living through this in real time. But with the Wheel of Fortune here, my feeling is that if you tune in with this energy here of earth, air, fire, and water and allow all of it to move through your body, mind, heart, and soul without any resistance, in other words, you completely, utterly surrender to the experience of being alive, who you are, this Piscean person, you will know, you will be unable to not know that profound changes are happening to you in your life, your personal life, and in the world around you. And it's going to feel like fate is changing everything for you. It could feel very turbulent. It could feel very confusing. It could feel very beautiful. It could feel very soothing. It could be very spiritual. It could be very unsettling. Neptune in Aries isn't exactly a happy placement for Neptune, but it is a placement. And you're going to live through it. So plan ahead for the next basically 14 or so years. You're heading into it right now. You're not quite there yet. But in the next year or so, Chickie, you're going to be entering a whole new lifestyle package deal. That's what I like to call it. A completely new thing. Whether it's with, whatever part of your chart. Career, family, finance, relationships, home, health, whatever it is. Your life is going to change. Now, because it's Neptune can be sometimes very, very difficult energy to handle or to understand. It can lead to confusion, delusion, disillusion, but it can also lead to spiritual evolution and awakening and a feeling of divine ordinance. And it can be perhaps difficult to navigate. That's why it's very important with Neptune energy to be willing to surrender to the phenomenon that you are essentially a spirit living in this 3D life. You might as well make the most of it and enjoy it. So your life is going to be changing profoundly in a very deep, long, slow journey. There's going to be crisis points. For example, over the next 14 years, there's going to be 14 periods where the sun goes through Pisces. And then every 28 days, the moon goes through Pisces. Venus goes through Pisces. Mars, Jupiter, it's going to go through, well, I don't know about Jupiter, but yeah, maybe, but anyway, certainly Sun, Moon, Mercury, Venus, and Mars are going to go through all of that stuff, and they're going to trigger certain chapters, okay? So just heads up. So what's the situation itself? Okay, Magician, jeepers, these are big cards, Chickie. So my feeling here is that this little mini reading for you is it's emphasizing the theme of fate, what feels like fate, where I'm not in a good way, not in a bad way, but where you're getting a glimpse of things like concepts like destiny, and you're here for a reason, for a purpose, that you've been here before in past lives, and that you're going to be here again in future lives, and you're here right now, and you can connect specifically with your invisible friends, and literally it's almost like attain magic powers. So the thing about the Magician energy, it's very raw, very new, and there's sometimes a lot of question marks associated with it. In other words, like, Hold on, I'm going to do it this way. Hold on. So, Chicky, with the Magician there, the situation, it might make you feel as though you're coming into your power, coming into your light, coming into your passion, coming into your heart, coming into your worldly destiny. Okay, wands, cups, pentacles, swords. Okay? And it might be a little confusing at first, like, oh my God, what am I going to do with all this? I am much more than I thought I was. I am Chicky, but I've got, like, it's almost realizing, like, have you seen those nature videos, like when a little baby golden eagle learns how to fly for the first time? Or when, like, a little newborn baby dolphin, you know, they're like this big or something, and they're so cute and everything, and they don't know what they are, but they exist, and then they become these beautiful creatures, and they live in their magic world. Same thing with plants, trees, swamp creatures, viruses, amoebas, elephants, giraffes, all of it. So what I'm sensing with the Magician card for you is just like, it's almost like you're with yourself realizing, oh my God, I'm all of this. Like, you look in the mirror and you think, is that me? Wow. Oh, like, wait a minute, that's another version of me. Whoa. Whoa, what am I supposed to do with all of this? So my feeling is in the very, very early, in the next year and a half or so, there might be a lot of questions coming up in your life. Even if you've lived a life where there's a lot of stability and you know everything and you know all the people in your life, or the jobs or activities, your social status, your belief systems, you've kind of got it all locked in and dialed up and everything, and you're cool. And then you start to realize, wait a minute, there's something else much bigger going on here, and you're starting to get a look into multi-dimensional aspects of life that you've never really seen before. You might have heard about it or thought about it or sensed it, but now it's actually happening. And then with the Magician, it's like a big question mark. Oh, what am I supposed to do with that? Like, who am I? What am I supposed to do with myself? So, again, go with the flow, surrender, understand and believe and trust that you are guided and you're protected. Okay? Invite your invisible friends to be there with you on the journey. Next, let's keep going with your mini reading. Now, what are the challenges here? God, serious cards, man. So, Chicky, okay, my feeling here, it's very, very simple. With the Ace of Cups here, you are already pre-programmed, pre-formatted to be an instrument of the healing power of love. The question is, what exactly does that look like for you in a three-dimensional format here in a physical body on this planet called Earth? I don't know. I don't know yet. Well, it kind of doesn't matter. You don't have to know everything all at once. You're in a three-dimensional world, which includes time. So you're going to be living through this experience. Okay, let me just show you again on the chart here. You're entering the cusp here right now. It's a 14-year journey where Neptune is going to transit through Aries. Okay, so it's still you, the Pisces person, but your ruling planet is going to move through Aries. Okay, you've had a 14-year journey through Pisces, but now things are going to change very profoundly. The next 14 years, it might feel very alien and weird to you, and you're going to have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis and allow it to unfold naturally. That's a 14-year journey, okay, the transit. So how are we going to deal with this going forward? Okay, you're going to have to build teamwork in a community. You're going to have to, the way to gain stability and material, worldly let's say, viability in order for you to be who you really are in this three-dimensional life, in this particular lifetime, is to hang out with your own kind, where you are a facilitator to others and others are a facilitator to you. Like, for example, just hanging out here with us. It could be beneficial for you. In other words, like some of the people here, like Robin and Necessary, I think sometimes Maria, there are people who show up here regularly, okay, Chicky, who are already professional readers, psychic readers, people who do psychic mediumship and things like that. And they're healers. They're alternative energy healers. Like James Helen, he was here a while. He does remote healing and yoga and Reiki and stuff like that. That's his particular niche. So for yourself, in order to advance and grow and find some stability and to learn how to channel your energy and maximize it, it's like teamwork. In other words, it works much better, instead of being an isolationist and trying to figure out on your own, it's better to hang out with people who have already been here before or done that. Let's put yourself in the role of the artisan, and you're building a magnificent cathedral. It's very hard to do that without guidance from the architects and the designers, okay? Now put yourself in the role of the architects and designers. It's very, very hard for them to manifest their cathedral without the artisans. They all need each other. It's community. It's the age of Aquarius that we're entering right now, and we assist each other. In other words, what is it that Love Triber said? We, the people, are the cure. This would be the energy of community, where you can feel like you belong. In other words, Chicky, you're one of us. Okay, let's put it that way. You're already one of us. But what does that look like for you personally? That's a voyage of discovery that you're going to enjoy over the next 14, 15 years. Okay? So, there you go. I hope that makes sense. Thank you very much, Chicky. Sarah Nova, you're up next. All right? So I'm going to clear all of this. Excuse me. Excuse me. Oh dear. Tina Miller, where have you been? I'm so glad. I've been thinking about you for weeks now. I hope you're okay. I hope you're doing okay. You've been through so much. You're probably still dealing with it. All right. Thank you for dropping by and just saying hi. That's fantastic, Tina. I'm going to get in touch with you tonight or tomorrow, okay? All right. So, anyway, Sarah Nova, you are up. Let me just go over here for a minute. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Fluffles. Thank you for that. Yeah, a couple of people have been asking, what's up with Tina? I know, I've been asking. A few people have asked me on the side, on the quiet. All right, so Sarah, you are up. Let's go over here. Hold on. Yeah, Fluffles, that was a very kind gesture. They get Chicky on board like that. I think that was that was kind of a fun reading. Who knew? I know, who knew? All right, so we're going to dive right in with Sarah. Where is my tea? Oh, there it is. It's sitting right in front of me. All right, here we go. Cards are already shuffled. We're going to go back into it again right now. No jumpers, no flyers, no reversals. Okay, here we go. All right, what kind of messages do we have here for Sarah tonight? Here's the situation. Here's the challenges. Here's how we're going to handle things, okay? Let's have a look at the external influences. We've got this, okay? So, the Three of Wands. Sarah, makes me feel as though you are kind of, again, this is a cusp energy that I'm sensing here for you. I'm going to illustrate the cusps again. Here, here, and here tonight. Aquarius, Capricorn, Aries, Taurus, Cancer, Leo. A lot of questions. Also, of course, we have the big cusp here, Neptune and Pisces, heading towards Neptune and Aries. So, anyway, that means a lot of change is coming up. So, my feeling here, this feels like a very calm, soothing, comforting type of energy where there's you, Sarah, living your life. You've got certain skills, talents, gifts. You know a lot about who you are and who you are not. You know your strengths, you know your weaknesses. Your talents, gifts, your resources, you know your limitations, okay, and you live in a, let's say, I would say a responsible, healthy manner that allows you to navigate through life in a way that is less turbulent than other people. Doesn't mean you don't have your challenges, but I feel a lot of stability here where seeds, concepts, ideas, ambitions, goals, destinies that you've been expecting, things that have already happened in your life are starting to show signs of what that looks like going forward, okay? So, and it looks comforting to me. It's like a sense of assurance that Maybe you're very good at planning things out. And then it's nice and comforting to see validation for your plans, goals, ambitions, destiny starting to show and showing signs of manifestation, so that you can feel self-assured. Oh, hold on a second. To me, it makes me feel that there's a part of your life where we all have different characteristics and natures, where you've got a certain passion for things, whatever it is, a service, a gift, an activity, and something that has been in development, and now it's starting to not just take root, but it's already starting to show signs of growing and manifesting in a way that makes you feel like, wow. Partly it's like it's about time, and it's about you can congratulate yourself in the mirror in a very, very calm, comforting way, just reassuring yourself that I'm okay, I'm all right, I'm going to be all right, okay? All right, let's have a look here. What's the situation itself? Let's have a look here. My feeling is that with the star card here, Sarah, whether you like it or know it or not, you've had to take on a lot of what I would think of as stress from other people, of other people, perhaps deliberately, perhaps with joy in your heart, perhaps because you have the gift of being able to endure a lot of stress and carry a lot of responsibilities and invoke a sense of leadership and a sense of stability and guidance that a lot of people don't have in their life. I mean, out of 8 billion people on this planet right now, there's at least 2 billion people whose lives are absolute crippling misery. Okay? And there's probably another 4 billion that are not too good. That's 6, and there's another 2 billion that maybe things aren't too bad. 2, 4, 6, 8. Anyway, actually, I'm thinking that I might got the numbers wrong. There's probably more like 4 billion people whose lives are in misery right now. And the only thing that they have is this invisible, intangible concept called hope. Now, there are a lot of people alive today where there is no hope. The energy of hope is completely absent. It is destroyed. And most of that is going to be with the people who live in war zones right now, where there's a lot of death, tragedy, and blood, and misery, disease, sickness. And there's also people, it almost doesn't matter what level of society we're talking about, or whether you're come from, let's say, America or Western Europe or China or India or, Central South America, whatever it is. People can feel hopeless. You can come from a world of privilege, and you can feel hopeless. And some people take their lives. They feel so hopeless. Some people can't. They feel so hopeless, and they can't carry the energy of being hopeless, and they take other people out. Okay, and with the star card here, my feeling is that your situation is that in your own world, in your own sweet way, it might be in a very simple, modest way, you've already got your life together. You've already kind of figured out your strengths, your weaknesses. You already know that you're here for a while and then you're gone. You might as well make the best of it while you're here. Whatever it is you do in your day-to-day life kind of doesn't matter, because what really counts is the energy of radiating hope that you carry. In other words, I get the feeling that you're partly unaware of this part of your nature, where you need to be aware of it, that if you carry this star energy, it's an indication that just by being yourself, you don't have to be a preacher or a guru, or you don't have to sell anything or force anything or try to convince anybody of anything. It's just by being you, your aura is radiating the energy of hope. So in that case, you might attract people in any shape or aspect of life who are